Michaela lost her mother when she was in elementary school. After moving from Georgia to Evansville to live with her dad and stepmom, Michaela faced some social and academic challenges in her new surroundings. Still dealing with the loss of her mom, Michaela needed someone to talk to after transitioning to high school.
My first exposure to Youth First was last year in sophomore year when I was going through some tough situations with my friends, and I was also dealing with depression, so I decided to come and talk to Miss Eric.
Youth First social worker Laura Eric helped Michaela manage her anxiety and stress.
Talking with Miss Eric has impacted my life because we helped figure out some coping skills and some time management skills, because going to signature I have a lot of homework and I'm stressed with school and friends and just like managing my time wisely.
She's just really come a long way in her growth as far as, okay, things are going to happen to me, stress is going to happen, but how can I get ahead of it? How can I put things in place that are going to help me feel okay? And she's really just established such, I don't know, mature skills for her age. She just has a different level of hope, I think, than she had to begin with.
Michaela sees the growth too, and her outlook is much more positive. Through her experience, she can now help others and is involved with some of Youth First's family programs.
I do child care for the Strengthening Families program. It has really helped me because I can see the children who have problems going on at home, and I guess I can kind of be a little mentor towards them, even though I'm not much older than them. And it's just really helped me see, it's eye-opening to me.
She is always looking for ways to better herself, to not only help her situation, but how can I take what's happened to me and help others around me.
After graduation, I plan to go to USI and get my degree in social work and hopefully become a child therapist.
Alicia also experienced a tragic loss when her brother and best friend drowned after falling through an icy pond at her home.
I was first exposed to Youth First because I lost my brother and my best friend in an accident. Mrs. Russell helped me through the grief stages, and I joined 2 grief groups. One was with a couple of girls because they lost family members.
Youth First social worker Amber Russell helped Alicia process her grief and learn to express her feelings.
I feel like working with me, and especially through the process of going through the grief group, it's been really helpful for Alicia in a lot of different ways. One, just learning about the processes of grief and what's normal and what's not. Also that she's just more comfortable coming with me and expressing her emotions and feelings.
What I'm thankful for and what I liked about the grief group and Miss Russell helping me out is because it helped me over my grief and loss, and I get to help other people. I went to the 2nd grade classroom every Monday and I would help them out with their reading and spelling, and 2 months later they were perfect at it, so it really helped them out.
Alicia really has shown a lot of resiliency through this process, and just for what she's been through for somebody who is in 6th grade, I feel like a lot of grown adults would have trouble facing the challenges that she has and might not do as well as she has either.
I am really thankful for having Miss Russell and Youth First help me out with my grief process.
High school freshman Ethan and Youth First social worker Don Tedrow got off to a rocky start.
My first exposure to Youth First was through teen series. I met the social worker, Don Tedrow, and we got into an argument. After I exploded, we tried to figure out what the issue was.
He admitted that he had been experimenting with substance abuse. He also had a shoulder injury. I
was in a lot of pain. I was very depressed, it just dragged me down because I was so distracted by the pain, and my work got behind, and that gave me a lot of anxiety. Miss Tedrow and I met and we kind of spoke on what I could do to overtake that and kind of build on and grow past, the hurt and depression.
Ethan needed to develop some coping skills and began to work with Dawn to learn new ways to deal with the anxiety, pain and anger he was experiencing, and she invited him to participate in Youth First Reconnecting Youth class.
As I went through Reconnecting Youth, I realized I'm my own person, and if I want to change, I have to do it. And that led me to not blaming others for my issues.
Don is optimistic about Ethan's future. He has spoken to several groups about his transformational experience with Youth First and his growth into a young man with ambitious goals for his future.
I think Ethan will be great in whatever he decides to do with his future. I know he's very interested in opening up a coffee shop or something. He really wants to get his hands into business, and I think he'll be very successful.
Happy 20th anniversary to Youth First. I hope in 20 years I'm able to still give back to my community and also to the next generation.
Happy 20th anniversary, Youth First. I hope in 20 more years I can be helping children with their problems.
Happy 20th anniversary, Youth First. In 20 more years, I hope that I can be a social worker so I can help out other kids with grief and loss too.